Why we're running it to see how well suited this luxury off-roader is to executive travel, alongside the usual Mercedes-Benz and BMW suspects. Month 1 specs life with their Land Rover Discovery. Month 1 welcoming the Discovery to our fleet the 18th of October 2017. Before you look at the price of this Land Rover Discovery, it's worth noting that more than half of Discovery buyers opt for the top specification trim, because the price is tested £74,420, or even perhaps the basic price £64,195, might cause an involuntary breath to leave your mouth, as it did mine. But this is not unusual, and it speaks of where Land Rover is today. The Discovery is, at the very least, an executive car, nudging towards a luxury car. Take a look around, there are loads of them spec'd like this. It's a way of having a car that's as luxurious and well-appointed as, oh, I dunno, an up-spec Mercedes-Benz A-Class, or a BMW 7 Series, without anybody thinking that you're on an airport taxi run. We're running this shiny new Discovery, about 10,000 miles on the clock, fresh from its first service, having served a few months' time as a press demonstrator before it came to us, to see how well it will do the whole executive transport thing. Not that I'm an executive, or anything like, obviously, but most of my driving is similar to those who will use a Discovery properly early starts, to hammer along a motorway, and then subject it to the harsher vagaries of domestic duties at the weekend. Besides, they said, you live in the sticks, Pryor, so surely a roughy-tufty 4x4 is up your street, while relieving me of the keys to a Mercedes-Benz A-Class wagon, which will now be run by Matt Burt. The A-Class Discovery handover is an interesting one because, to an extent, they have to do the same things. Sure, the Land Rover has to do more, off-road, and if hauling things, but they could feasibly both end up on your company car list. And for the Discovery's extra versatility, it doesn't necessarily follow that potential buyers will cut it too much slack when they come to picking between the two. But buyers should be aware. As a strict road car, the Mercedes is, ultimately, the nicer thing to drive. Lower, more agile, more economical at the same performance levels. But the Discovery counters with the characteristics that are a result of its mechanical layout. You're well isolated from road noise, the ride is extremely good, great visibility is afforded by your height to the expense of those around you, granted, and there's a tremendous sense of imperviousness in poor conditions. Standing water affects the stability of a Discovery far less than it does lower cars on lower profile tires, while, as weather starts to turn, increasingly mucky country lanes don't seem to fling mud quite so far up the Discovery's body side as lower cars. And it doesn't look out of place when it does. I haven't yet challenged the full off-roader towing capability of our test car. It's only been with us a few weeks. But I have put the long-distance cruising and practicality to use. This is going to be handy. Activity key sits on your wrist so you can leave the proper key in the car rather than worry about losing it. pic.twitter.com/typoeek, Matt Pryor at Matty_Pryor. September the 16th, 2017. Noise levels are pretty low. The ride is controlled enough on twistier roads, considering the curb weight, which must be 2,500 kilograms if it's a day, and the seats remain extremely comfortable over a distance. Seats in the back feel just as comfortable as those in the front. And the climate control feels nicely overspec'd. Via an option, the seats in the back are cooled, as well as the standard heated, plus those in the third row, which I haven't used yet, are heated. This car is quite serious about keeping you at the right temperature. And I'm a sucker for a heated steering wheel, especially given that the steering has a pleasing weight, speed and self-centering that Land Rover and Jaguar are really pretty good at. They are less renowned at infotainment and so on, and while the latest Range Rover, the Vila, will go quite a way to improving that, this Discovery gets the touchscreen the car was launched with. It's versatile, I'll give it that. There are several home screens to scroll through, giving control of everything from electrically dropping the seats through to an option, but a very cool one, a system that lets you reverse a trailer to exactly where you want it, via the screen, and adjusting the terrain response style, without the hassle of counter-steering and fumbling. I like to kid myself that I'm second only to Arctic drivers when it comes to reversing, but I'm quite excited to try that regardless. But some bits of the screen are a bit fiddly. Sometimes the system forgets it's synced to the music on my phone. Inputting destinations can be slow. You get used to all of this, but it's a pity this car came earlier than the Vila's system. Can't be helped. That aside, the Discovery is easing into daily life very nicely. So far, it's returning around 30 mpg from its 3.0-litre six-cylinder diesel, which is impressively refined and, at 255 bhp, quite brisk enough. It sometimes pays to leave the 8-speed auto in S rather than D for ideal step-off response, which is one of those tricks you discover on a long test like this, as you learn to get the best out of what already seems like a very impressive car. Second opinion: the last big car like this I tested was a Volvo XC90 and, although I like the cut of the car's jib and its appearance, it was harder to get in and out of it in car parks than the Discovery. They're about the same width, so the Volvo's doors must be longer or thicker. Stan Pappy or Land Rover Discovery TD6 HSE luxury specification specs price new £64,195 price as tested £74,420 options Namib orange premium metallic paint £1,660 privacy glass £390 dynamic design pack includes Narvik black exterior trim, grey contrast roof, 22 inches black alloys, black head lining, floor mats and veneer door cards, a Windsor leather steering wheel, aluminium paddle shifters, dark brushed aluminium interior trim £2,340, electrically deploying tow bar £985, tow assist £365, capability plus pack, includes active locking rear differential, terrain response 2, all-terrain progress control £1,000, cool box £235, activity key £315, TV £880, head-up display £1,035, second row 12-volt sockets £110, heated and cooled second row and heated third row seats £835, timed climate control £1,035, test data engine 2,993cc, V6, turbocharged diesel power 255 bhp at 3,750 revolutions per minute, torque 368 pounds-feet at 1,500 revolutions per minute, top speed 130 miles per hour, 062 mph, 7.7 sec, claimed fuel economy E39.2 mpg, test fuel economy E30.1 mpg, code to 189 gkm, faults none, expenses none, back to the top.